Good afternoon, class 11. So we were doing the various applications of the first law of thermodynamics. We studied 3 processes in the previous video. Today we are going to study 3 more processes. So the first processes that we are going to study is, actually it is not the first, it is the fourth process, because we did 3 in the previous video. So the process that we are going to study is isochoric process. Now what is an isochoric process? A process in which the volume does not change, the volume remains constant. Such a process is known as isochoric process. So volume remains constant. Now, what was our expression for the first law of thermodynamics? It was delta U is equal to Q minus W. And this W we know is P into delta V, right? So, if the volume does not change, if the volume remains constant, then this delta V will be 0, because delta V is the change in volume. If volume remains constant, there is no change in volume. So delta V will be equal to 0, which means this W will be equal to 0, because W is P into delta V. So in case of isochoric process, W will be equal to 0. So what we get is delta U will be equal to Q, because W is 0. Which means that whatever heat energy you supply to the system, the entire heat energy will be used up in increasing the internal energy of the system. No work will be done on the system, only internal energy of the system will change. This is the isochoric process. Now next, we will do the isothermal process. Isothermal process. Isothermal process is one in which temperature remains constant. Temperature remains constant. Again, the equation is delta U is equal to Q minus W. Now, if temperature remains constant, let us study the case of ideal gases. Okay. So, in ideal gases, the internal energy change is totally dependent upon temperature. If the temperature remains constant, in ideal gases I am talking about, in ideal gases, if the temperature remains constant, the internal energy of the system does not change, because internal energy is totally dependent upon temperature. So, for ideal gases, we can say that then delta U will be equal to 0, because temperature is constant. Delta U is equal to 0. If delta U is equal to 0, we can write Q is equal to W. Delta U is equal to 0, so Q will be equal to W. This means that whatever heat energy you gave to the system, the entire heat energy has been used up in doing work. Internal energy of the system has not been changed, only work has been done. So this was the isothermal process. And now the last process that we are going to do is the adiabatic process. An adiabatic process is one in which no heat energy change takes place. So heat energy cannot be supplied or taken away from the system. Heat energy transfer or heat energy transfer is not allowed. Heat energy transfer is not allowed in an adiabatic process. So then delta U is equal to Q minus W. If heat energy transfer is not allowed, then this Q will be 0, because we are not being able to supply any heat energy or take away any heat energy. So this gives us delta U is equal to minus W. Right. So delta U will be equal to minus W. So now if work is being done by the system, when work is being done by the system, what is the sign of work? When work is being done by the system, then the work is taken as positive, right? So in that case, delta U will be equal to minus plus W, that is minus W. That is, the internal energy of the system will decrease. Internal energy will increase. On the other hand, if work is being done on the system, then delta U will be equal to minus of minus W, because when work is done on the system, work is taken as negative, so minus of minus W, that is W or plus W. Now internal energy of the system will increase. One example of this is when we shake tea in a thermos flask. In a thermos flask, what happens is that we totally eliminate any heat conduction, any heat transfer by conduction, convection or radiation. Thermos flask is designed in such a way. So we can call that an adiabatic system, because no heat is being allowed to either escape or get in. So if you have tea in a thermos flask which has gone cold and you want to heat it up, what happens is, what you will have to do is, you cannot hold it over a fire, because then no heat energy transfer will take place, the tea will not get warm. You will have to shake the thermos flask. When you shake the thermos flask, you are doing work against the viscous force between all the levels of the tea. Now when you are doing work, that work is being converted into the change in internal energy of the system. So that is one example. And another example is that when a tire bursts, what happens, a large amount of air is just escapes to the hole and it expands into the atmosphere. That expansion takes place in such a short time that heat transfer cannot take place. So that is also an adiabatic process. So these are the examples of adiabatic processes, and this is the expression for the adiabatic process. So these are all the 6 processes that we studied. This basically wraps up the main part of the first law of thermodynamics. Now we will, in the next video, we will study in little depth the various terms that are associated with the first law of thermodynamics. Thank you.